So this is a nail art technique that is a little bit more advanced, but it still is fairly easy to accomplish. So one of my girlfriends who is a fellow nail tech is super creative and very talented and artsy, and she taught me this. So this is a container of micro beads, and I just got them at Michael's, and you could probably share these containers with 20 other nail techs and still have enough for your lifetime. So what I'm going to do is the center of my flower is I'm going to make like a round bead, and I'm going to make a flower. So I'm just using my royal icing tool that I pop bubbles in when I do cookies, and I'm just dabbing a little bit onto the end of it, and then I'm going to roll it around in the micro beads because this is going to be the center of my flower. So once I get it covered the way I want it, then I'm going to stick it into the light and cure it for 30 seconds. Then once I have it cured, then I'm going to dip it back in again into my builder gel, and I'm just going to do the very first coat in the builder gel. Okay, and then I'm just going to let the excess strip off and just kind of make sure that, I roll it around a little bit so that it's like a fairly even ball on there. Now I'm going to cure that. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Okay, and then once I'm happy with it, then I'm going to cure it. Okay, now that it's cured, I'm going to dip it into just a thin top coat. Okay, so you can kind of see, just going to try and focus in here. My apologies. So now it kind of looks like a little bit of a ball. So I'm just going to kind of turn it around so that it's the ball the way I like it. And then I'm going to cure it because it will move around on me. Okay, so now it's a perfect little ball. So now I'm going to take white gel paint and I'm going to paint around it. I'm painting flower petals. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way around, kind of spacing them apart a little bit, but turning and rotating. And then once I get a petal evenly spaced apart all the way around, I'm going to cure this. And then once I cure it, it's going to go in the light now for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to dip it into the gel again. Sorry, my fingers are in the way. So I'm just pulling it out of the gel and letting the excess gel come off of it, and I just kind of scrape it off. So now there's a coat around what I just painted. So now it looks pretty even, so I've cured it again. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to do another layer of petals all the way around, and I'm going to paint them in the spaces that are there. Now keep in mind there is a layer of gel between the first petals that I painted and this layer that I'm painting. So when it's all said and done and you look at it from the top, it's going to look like it's layers of petals. Okay, and once I have all of the petals done, I'm going to cure it again. And then I'm going to dip it again. Now, depending on how big you want this flower, you could keep going. And this really isn't practical to put on somebody's nails, but I just wanted to show you how it's done. It's quite a cool technique. So again, my finger's in the way, my apologies. So I've dipped it, and now I'm going to cure it again. And now I'm just going to do one more coat of petals. And you can do it in the spaces. You can just equally put them all the way around because it doesn't really matter. Just going all the way around. And then once I have these petals done, I will cure it again. And I'm not going to dip it again. This is as big as I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to cure that. And now once it's cured, I'm just going to wipe off any residue that's left. And I'm going to simply just twist it and pull it right off of the metal piece. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my machine and I'm just going to gently file so that the bottom of it is flat. Should just be a little bit. And now I'm just going to use a rhinestone gel. A rhinestone gel, it's very, very thick. It's almost like Vaseline. And I'm going to attach it to the base of this nail tip. And I've put a fairly generous amount on. And then I'm going to place my bead on there. And then I have a handheld UV light. So this allows me to get the rays right underneath the bead. And you can get one of these at any supply store. You can get them off of Amazon, and you can even get them off of Temu. So they're just nice to have, especially even if you have a client and you're doing rhinestones and you want to make sure that that gel underneath the rhinestone is getting completely cured so that they don't pop off. And like I said, this is not practical to do this on a client because it's going to be sticking way up from their nail and probably pop off at some point. But just wanted to show you how it's done because it's such a cool look.